The Kabbalah opens up access to the occult, to the mysteries. It enables us to read sealed epistles and books, and likewise the inner nature of man. Paracelsus. This is the opening quote Ted Andrews uses in his book, Simplified Qabala Magic. And in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you my reasons why this book, I think, is one of the best, most simplified books for anyone interested in either starting a journey through Hermetic Qabala or someone who might already be somewhat experienced and looking for a deepening of that practice. So stay tuned. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things magical practices and altered states. And in today's video, as I said, this is going to be a book review of one of the better books on Kabbalah, the more easily understood books, I would say, and that is Ted Andrews' Simplified Qabala Magic. The aim of occultism is to know thyself. According to Andrews, knowing thyself means to love thyself. Kabbalah, or Kabbalah with a K, is a form of Jewish mysticism that has been used by occultists as a system or map to understand the universe. Its main glyph is known as a tree of life, and this tree comprises of 10 spheres or sephiroth, meaning emanations, and 22 paths that link the spheres and correspond to the major arcana cards of the tarot. If you want to learn more specifics about the tree, I invite you to check out my other videos around Kabbalah and the Tree of Life specifically, or also maybe head over to the membership page and check out the Pathworking class, which goes into way more detail. I'll link those in the description below. When I began my study on Kabbalah and the Western esoteric path, I actually started with Dion Fortune's well-known book, The Mystical Qabala. And this book is filled with lots of knowledge, a really deep dive. But what I found happening for myself was, at that time, without the proper kind of banishing rituals and ways of really balancing my energy day to day, it was just too much for me to handle. And I had some really bizarre experiences as I began the journey along the tree. So even though I would say that Dion Fortune's book is a really great resource, perhaps Ted Andrews' book is a great place to start. Ted Andrews provides not only the reasons why one might want to begin working within Kabbalah and along the tree of life, but also the how and the best practices in which to do so. It truly is simple. Andrews says, the Kabbalah is a plan for a flower garden. Provided are the tools, the tasks, the sunshine, the water, the fertilizer, and seed, enough for infinite plant life. Provided are the instructions and procedures for the planting, hoeing, and harvesting. But with all this, the actual work is up to the individual. Andrews sets up the reader with an encouraging message as to why now is the time to use Kabbalah as a magical tool to expand consciousness. He puts to rest some of the speculation around occultism, the world's view of magic, and what it means for individuals and the collective on this particular path. As a fellow student and a teacher of occultism, one thing I wanted to highlight here with Ted Andrews' book is his use of magical corresponding tables. He summarizes, be it briefly, what each of the 10 spheres' themes are in an easy to understand manner. If you've ever read Crowley's 777, then you know what I mean. Andrews goes on to list some of the main correspondences, though they are scattered throughout the book. I mean, this is a place where you, as a magical practitioner, can easily make your own grimoire, a magical journal, and compile your own list, which I definitely encourage someone to do. But some of the corresponding tables that Andrews provides are pretty common in other books, and I enjoyed seeing the simplicity of them. Some of those main correspondence he lists so that we can connect astrally to each sphere are the divine God names, the archangelic names and angelic choirs, the virtues and vices, the musical tones, fragrances, and colors, the magical image and magical visions, the planetary correspondences, and the corresponding microcosmic connection to our physical body. In addition to these magical correspondences, Andrews goes on to share practical ways in which you can begin to practice pathworking, as it's known, the journeying up and down of the tree of life, and exploring each of the spheres between. He dives into a reason for vibration and sound through mantra work and the vibration of the divine names, and how you can go about doing this to intone magic in your day-to-day life. Partway through the book, he also goes through how you can go about choosing the particular Sephiroth or sphere and why you might do so, and then the step-by-step guide of accessing each sphere. He breaks this down in a pretty simplified process. First, you choose the Sephira or level of consciousness you wish to explore based on what might be going on or different themes in your life. Second, you alter the energy field using the corresponding vibration of sound, color, or scent, or whatever other corresponding energies you may feel called to pull in. Thirdly, you can achieve the altered state through a progressive relaxation. Fourth is tapping your inner realms, where he explains the method of accessing the inner temple to meet the consciousness of that particular Sephira, as well as a way to test what's coming through to you. One thing I'll note here is that Ted Andrews really does emphasize the importance of testing whatever is showing up within each sphere or each level of consciousness to make sure that it's actually a valid point. And having had personal experiences with this, I definitely recommend doing those practices from the book that help to kind of shift when something isn't really aligned with that particular area. And lastly, how to extract the energy or the learnings from the journey. And this form of integration or embodiment, I feel, is really important. It's so easy to gain little pieces of information and then just forget about it, right? So in the book, he's really encouraging people to take what's being learned or retrieved within these spaces, and within the first week, to do some actionable steps so that you can embody that learning. He says, "We tap these levels to accelerate our growth and awareness. If we do not use what we learn from these levels, then it's wasted effort. We become mere dabblers in ancient wisdom." Another strength of the book I found was Ted Andrews' way of explaining and really encouraging people to use two main magical practices, both that of the Kabbalistic cross and also the middle pillar exercise. I do believe that both of these are important to help bring balance to our energy fields and also to support and ground us when we go into any type of altered state experience. He also goes on to share other ways in which you can start to explore the spheres in your own physical body and energy field. But the one thing that I wish he would go into more detail was doing something like the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, which that was what I found to be very helpful when I began actually exploring each of the spheres. It helped banish the energy of the space before and after each meditation. I have a video on the LBRP you can check out, and I'll probably link it in the description as well. Andrews goes on at the end of the book to explain how the pathworking process itself is a self-initiatory path. And this really resonates for me, as any magic really seems to be an alignment of oneself and soul with the divine. And so it doesn't matter who you are, what you've gone through in your life, that there is power for each of us, no matter our ethnic background or cultural background, to explore this process and this symbol in our life. He also highlights, which I've heard in many other books, the importance for anyone who might be intuitively inclined, like a psychic or a medium, to consider stepping into this work in a way that is grounded, that really tests what you're seeing, because this is going to actually develop your skills. Personally, as someone who gets intuitive messages, I can say that this has really started to open doorways in other paths of my life where I feel like I just know things and can really tap into the messages from spirit. So instead of just practicing, experiencing more messages, perhaps there's something here about accessing these different levels of consciousness, not just so you can further this psychic connection, more importantly, to align yourself with the divine stream of consciousness. And whether or not you are exploring Kabbalah now or you have an interest, I would definitely recommend getting this book and having it as a reference point, maybe checking into it and seeing what resonates for you or not. Of course, Hermetic Qabala, Christian Kabbalah may not be on everyone's path, and that's completely okay. And I do feel there is a huge relationship building part here that can be supportive on your magical journey. As I said, if you'd like to learn more about the Tree of Life, about Kabbalah, I invite you to check out the rest of the videos on the channel here, and perhaps even head over to the community membership, where our Practicus members actually gain access to the Pathworking class, which is an 11-week series course where we journey through each of the spheres or sephiroth of the tree and start to tap into the levels of consciousness to master your own life. If you're not interested in the membership, I also have the same course available on my website that you can sign up for. So you can head over to deepmindsquared.com. I'll put that link in the description below as well. As always, folks, so much juiciness happening here. And until the next time, you guys, I'll see you in another video.